Hello. My name is Jessie, and today we have a very special video. I finally get to go to an Asian grocery store to stock up on some of my favorites. I'm going to show you guys what I got and how to prep them. I got one whole winter melon, and it was really rare that I found such a small one because these usually comes in like 15-20 pounds, and I think this was only 6 pounds. This was one of the reasons why I had to run to the Asian grocery store because Calvin is begging for it's his favorite dish. He's begging for the caramelized catfish, the Vietnamese cá kho, and that I have to go to an Asian grocery store where they sell it, and they actually clean it for you too. So I'll pop a picture of the finished product on here so you guys know what I'm talking about. And also, since I was there, I got some herbs. This whole bundle of deal was like less than $3. A lot of times the herbs are a lot cheaper because we eat it like vegetables, so we buy a big amount. And these two herbs are like the main herbs to use in pho, and I know I keep saying this, but I finally will be making some pho this week. I've been craving for it, but I just never found the time just yet. I got some udon. It's not the Japanese udon that you would have. These are the clear one. These are the Vietnamese udon that is actually made with tapioca flour, so the texture is different. The traditional Japanese udon is made with rice noodles, so it's chewier. And this one is chewy but springy at the same time. It's almost like the same texture of, those bobas that you have in bubble tea. It's almost like that. So I really like my Vietnamese udon. Calvin not so much. He doesn't like anything this thick, so I would just eat it myself. And these last in the fridge for a very, very long time, and he can just eat the skinny rice noodle that we have in the pantry as well. Also, I bought some fresh noodles for pho. I want to have these fresh one. They taste so much better, and I can also use them for beef chow fun or the pat ki mao and other stuff too. So I stock up in 3 of them. Once you know how to store them correctly, they last a very long time. So I'll show you guys how I usually store these so they can last longer, because if you put this whole thing in the fridge, it's harder for you to eat later on. I'll explain it later when I do the food prepping. Every time I go to an Asian store, I buy a lot of noodles to stock up because I don't want to have to run there every time when I want an Asian dish. This one is smaller, but it's for pan fried. So this one is for chow mein and such, and I get the one for wonton because I wanted to make some roasted noodle soon. I have a lot of craving when I go to the Asian store. I have a lot of plan to make these, and whether or not I would make it is a different story. But these last in the fridge very long. Sometimes I throw them in the freezer as well. And these 2 bags are pantry stable because they're dry noodles. I sometimes also use these to make chow mein. Okay, and some Asian canned food. I don't know how to call it, but I only can find these at an Asian grocery store. So the baby corn, I like to throw them in stir fry sometimes. These straw mushrooms are very good to put in soup. I like them. Like I put them in a lot of the noodle soup that I have, rice noodle soup, the glass noodle chicken soup, and all that. So I like to have that on hand. I just used my last can in the pantry, so I just grabbed another one when I was there. And I got some bamboo shoot slices and thinly stripped. I couldn't decide on which one, so I got both because I wanted to make the bamboo shoot noodle soup with duck. Again, let's see if I really gonna make it. It's a little complicated, but we shall see. And some shallots. Again, shallots are a lot cheaper at Asian grocery store. It's like $1.50 a pound. So I usually just grab a few. And last but not least, some very soft tofu, extra soft tofu for Korean tofu stew. That's all that I got from the Asian grocery store. Alright, first off, we're gonna prep the noodles. These are freshly steamed rice noodle and they are so much better than any dried rice noodle out there that would be pantry staple, and that's why I'm taking the extra time to prep them. They're so good in stir fries like chow fun, pad kim mao, any of those stir fries, and or your noodle soup. But because they're fresh, they would go moldy quickly if you leave them on the counter. And if you put them in the fridge as a whole cake like this, it would harden up. And when you want to eat it, trying to make it into, noodles form, they would just crumple up and you will not have long strings of noodles anymore. And one way to bring it back to the texture that you can separate it into noodles is to put it into the microwave for like 30 seconds at a time until you find the perfect texture to separate them. However, that would mean that we would have to eat this whole package all at once during that microwaving process. But there's only the two of us here, so the next best thing is to pre-portion them before we put them in the refrigerator, so we have the exact amount every time when we want to eat them. We would work with the white noodles first. I bought this package planning to make pad kim mao and beef chow fun. So this package is 1 pound, and I'm gonna try to make 2 meals out of it. Each meal will be about 8 ounces. So one would be for pad kim mao and one would be for chow fun. Here I am after microwaved it for 30 seconds, trying to separate the noodles one at a time. And I already did half of it. Let me show you the second half in real time so you see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here is unfold it first, and we're just gonna squeeze it lightly to separate them and just be very gentle to kind of shake it a little bit and pull out the noodles one strand at a time. And oh my goodness, I know this looks like a lot of work, but it's not. I promise you guys it's not. It's kind of relaxing, and just think about the juicy, bouncy, springy, a lot of ease texture that goes into our stir fry. It will be so worth it. And I think by the time this video is up, our pad kim mao video is already being released. So I would link it here so you guys can go and check out how yummy this dish would be just by prepping it a little bit. Oh, hi Wolfie! Okay, and we are done. Both of them are separated and pre-portioned, and whenever we need to use it, we just take it out of the fridge, pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds to soften it up a little bit. Or if you're stir frying it, just go straight into the wok and it would be ready. Alright, moving on to the next 2 packages of thinner noodles that I bought for pho and future noodle soup. See, this one is for pho, or noodle soups I should say, and this one is for stir fry. See the difference? And just like the other bag of noodles I just showed you, we're putting it in the microwave 30 seconds at a time so we can find the perfect texture when it would allow us to pull without breaking it. And this bag is 1 pound, and we would be eating it as individual bowls of soups. And I'm having the pho broth cooking away, and I would have pho tomorrow finally. So here I am dividing this 1 pound package into 4 portions because each of these would go into 1 bowl of noodle soup. And when I take it out of the fridge, I just wrap one in the bowl into the microwave for 30 seconds, pour some soup over it, and pho would be ready. Last package, and oh my goodness, on the last package, I got the perfect texture of noodles, and I will show you guys. See how beautiful it is when it is at the right temperature. Look, all these strands of noodles are so easy to be pulled apart. However, for this package, I would divide them into 4 portions, but would put them in the Ziploc bags instead of the container because we will not be using these portions anytime soon because I already have 4 bowls of soups and 2 stir fries ready for this and next week. So we would be saving these 4 portions in Ziploc bag in the back of our fridge to be used in the future. When you put this in the fridge, just kind of put it in the back of the fridge and try not to shove it too much in there because, like I said, once it's cold, it would harden up and be a little bit more crumbly. So just still be gentle with it. And once it's already pre-portioned like this, it stays in the fridge for very long. I've had it in my fridge up to a month and I pull it out and it just tastes as fresh as day one. In less than 15 minutes, we have 8 portions for soup and 2 stir fries. Okay, next is this winter melon. I usually like to wash it in the sink before cutting it because there's a lot of powdery stuff on the skin. And if I don't wash it, it leaves residue everywhere. And also it's been sitting out. I don't know how many people walk by and touch it. So it's good to give it a good wash, even though we're gonna peel off the skin when we cook, but I like to have it clean before touching the cutting board and such. Each bag is 1 portion of every time when I make soup. I think that would yield us about 3 bags. I like to prep all this before I cut my melon because that's when my hand gonna get dirty. So I just cut it in half. This one is really small, so I can handle it. Usually, if when I buy the really big one, Calvin would be the one who's cutting it because it's too big for me to handle and heavy. But this one, I think I'll be okay. The skin isn't too bad. So I'll just cut it like a winter melon. I mean the watermelon. Like that. Oh, I really like the small one. So easy to cut. Some people make a sweet tea out of this too. Like a winter melon tea. But I like to make soup out of it. And I just cut cubes out of it. They do tend to fall apart in the soup, so I don't want to cut it too small. But at the same time, I don't want it to leave it too big either. So this is like about 2 by 2 inches. And just like that, we got 3 bags of winter melon.